Welcome back to Where All Things Are Possible. I am your host, Kate Butler, and today I want to talk about the power of belief. We know that when we believe in something truly, truly extraordinary happens within inside of ourselves, and what happens to the things that then begin to show up in our world. But what I really want to dive into when we do choose to believe, and when we choose to believe beyond what our current circumstances are three really specific things that happen within inside of us that have now been proven. So it's very exciting that these are things that we used to think before, but now we actually have scientific evidence that proves these things to be true. And the first thing that begins to happen when we choose to believe beyond our current circumstances, is that it creates cognitive dissonance within our mind. The cognitive dissonance is the space between where you are and what it is that you're believing beyond into. And when that space is created, that space actually creates some stress, some tension within your mind. And our body needs to come back to norm. Our body needs to come back to alignment. And so what we will automatically do when that space is created with a new thought, with a new vision, with a new belief, is our body will, and our mind, we will automatically go into action to create that tension to dissipate. And it will allow us, without doing anything other than bringing a new belief into our life, we will start to see different things, we will start to make different choices, we will start to act different ways to get ourselves closer to that new belief so we close the gap. That is one of the first things that happens. The second thing we know that happens when we choose to believe beyond where we are currently is that we actually begin to create new neural pathways in our brain. So when we choose to believe and we remind ourselves of this belief over and over again, right? All of a sudden, our brain says, wait, hold on, we recognize something new is happening. We're thinking new thoughts. And the more we think that new thought, the more that neural pathway creates that new pathway in our brain. And the third thing is, and this is very, very exciting, but quantum physics has now shown so much proven research that when we create that new pathway in our brain, it is actually sending an electromagnetic field out into the world. And when we talk about magic, and we talk about miracles, and we talk about the law of attraction, this is actually what it's talking about. It is actually talking about the new neural pathway that you created because you chose to believe beyond. And it is actually talking about the quantum physics of creating an electromagnetic field that goes out from your subconscious and into the world to attract those things that you are focusing on with that new belief. So these are just three very simple things that happen automatically when we choose to believe beyond. And that is just how simple it can get. Isn't that exciting? Guess what? I also have a guest today who is going to double down on everything we just said, because she has an extraordinary way of putting everything I just told you into practice in her entire life. And you will not believe the extraordinary results that have come from our next guest. I am so happy and excited to introduce to you Dr. Lucette. Dr. Lucette is a dynamic public speaker, coach, author, and visionary course creator dedicated to transforming lives. And what I love about Dr. Lucette is she transformed hers first. This is someone who walks her walk. With her innovative approach, Dr. Lucette unlocks the secrets of personal development and cognitive behavioral strategies, hence my introduction. Her joy of resilience and transformation serves as a beacon of hope. And I do know about her. This is someone who truly is a lifeline of hope to someone who is looking for that. From being a single mother facing divorce without child support to battling cancer and financial hardship, and that's an understatement, she emerged as a triumphant example of turning adversity into victory. Driven by her unique philosophy on life, she invites you to embrace life's challenges and opportunities, to rewrite your story and to live with intention and choice. Isn't she the perfect guest for our show? That's what we do here, is rewrite our story with every episode. She has dedicated 3 decades of experience as a veterinarian and business owner. And she has created a dynamic and robust subscription program, which we're going to talk about today. This is actually very, very exciting. And she's going to give you the opportunity to have all the tools to live from the inside out and create your very own extraordinary life. Welcome to the show, Dr. Lucette.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you.
Yes. And so extraordinary life, what does this mean to you to live an extraordinary life?
Really, it means to live from the inside out, because we're taught to live from the outside in. And as I discovered, as I started going through some of my challenges, that doesn't give you the tools to thrive, to be resilient. And we're actually meant to live from the inside out. And when we learn to understand that, wow, life gets, even the hardest things get easier. And because you have the tools and you understand that no one can take you off track unless you allow it. But we do a lot of allowing because we don't understand that, and we think that our path is through other people. We need their approval. We need to make them happy in order for us to be happy. All these things that take us off track. And really we have to know who we are and how to line up with that. And we have to know, what are we telling ourselves that's created? What limiting beliefs do we have? What are we telling ourselves that we don't know we're telling ourselves? The way we talk to ourselves, we learn that, and we don't, it's so normal. It's like writing with your right hand. You're telling yourself all these things. Well, that was really dumb. Well, why did I do that? Well, that was really stupid. And we don't even know, or wow. I have a mental block. I can't do this. And those thoughts are going on so consistently that we're not aware of them.
Yes.
Did you know the National Science Foundation says that 80% of our thoughts are negative?
Yes.
And over 90% of our thoughts are repetitive, meaning they just go down those negative pathways that we create. And so one of my tools is how to keep your brain in the game.
Yes.
Because it's not in the game when it's doing a repetitive negative thought, right? We're allowing it to go off down this place that's taking us out of the opportunity to choose our thoughts and keep our brain in the game and live an intentional life.
So you said something earlier that was, when we learn this different way of thinking, if you will, it can make even the tough things seem easier. Can you give us an example of your own life of when you did start to live your life differently? And I introduce you as somebody who walks their walk, right? And I mean that, right? Because I shouldn't say that, but I don't introduce everyone that way. That's something really special and unique that I see about you, is that you really do every single day. I feel like you implement the work that you teach. And I do think that's a beautiful thing to honor and recognize within you. And so when you started this path of implementing the work that you teach now today, how did it begin to make things that were seemingly very difficult in your life a little bit easier?
So an example that I'll use from my own life is there was a time when my brother was in a state mental hospital, and I was the only one who had the potential to be able to help him, but it meant stepping out of my business against the advice of my banker, my parents, and other trusted advisors. And I did so knowing that I was called to do that. But then I struggled financially. For 3 years after that, I really struggled. Yeah. And I came to a point where I had to make a decision. Was I willing to go bankrupt? And when I was struggling, really I was feeling like a failure, because I felt like it was hard, and the things I was telling myself, I was living from the outside in. I was taking in what they said when they said, you're not going to be able to do this. And then I was like, I'm a failure because this is hard. And so what I was telling myself was keeping me in that spot. And when I reached a point where I decided that I wasn't willing to go bankrupt, that I just was not willing to, I made a decision. That decision was like you were talking about with the cognitive dissonance. I knew I had to change what I was doing. So I made a morning routine. I created a morning routine and I refined it. And the goal was to get in the best place possible every day. And I still use the tools that I created and learned at that time. And I literally went from several $100,000 in debt to almost debt-free in a year. 1 year. Because of the difference in what I was telling myself. because of the tools I was learning and creating to change, to live from the inside out, to understand that I get to choose. And what I'm telling myself matters. And so much of the time, what we're telling ourselves, we don't even know we're telling ourselves. We are saying we can't do this, or this is hard, or the economy is affecting. And everything we say, we are telling our brains, that's all our brains can do. We're locking our brains down, or we're shutting it down by saying stuff, really mean things to ourselves that actually shut down the prefrontal cortex. And it changes the chemicals in our brains when we focus on believing and appreciating. And so from that, I've created tools and gained more and more knowledge of how to live from the inside out. And it's really easy, but the challenge is that you've been living the other way for however many years, right? And so it does take some knowledge, recognition, and some tools to learn how to change it. And it's an ongoing process. I do it on a daily basis. But that's why I created the subscription program, is because everyone deserves to have those tools, not just the few people that can do coaching or, show up for different things. And so when I go and speak, they start to get the idea. There's the tools. And then the subscription program is the next level because it's easy. It's, I'm always creating new material for it, but the whole goal is, how do you live from the inside out? How do you become so resilient that you know that you get to choose how and what you're living, and nothing can take you out? Nothing can take you out.
Incredible. Dr. Lucette, what a gift to have her here today. We are not done yet, but we do need to take a quick break. We have just talked about how we begin to shift into an extraordinary life, an amazing subscription program that anyone has access to from all over the world. And we're going to dig into more of this when we come back.
I love that we both got an awesome network and save money doing it.
I know, $25. I love that it's guaranteed for 3 years.
Hey, we're sitting on a sign here.
Switch and get Welcome Unlimited for $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years. Verizon.
Oh, no signal. I don't have home internet.
Oh, that's a red flag.
Find the bars.
Your mom looks a lot like me.
Yeah, couple of hotties.
Thank you?
Ah, man. There's dead spots all over this place.
There really are. Oh, wow.
Nothing. Are you getting a good signal?
No, I'm not.
It's time for real home internet. Get it on the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity.
these sub bowls.
Of course, no problem, big bro. Let's eat.
Danny DeVito? What did you do with our uncle?
Well, that doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. What matters most are these sub bowls.
Wait, has Danny DeVito been my brother my whole life?
I guess so. Don't tell Mom. Your favorite sub, hot or cold in a bowl. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Let's go to our next segment, Fairest Calls, inspired by Geico's fair and fast 24/7 claim service.
Do we have to do the Geico stuff while I'm here?
Yep, we do. Let's play the clip.
Holding, number 53, 10-yard penalty.
This literally happens every game. Can we just skip to the action?
Nope, nothing but fair and fast claims, just like Geico. Here's the next clip.
But I don't play the clip.
Pass interference, number 34.
Wow, doesn't get any fairer than this, boys.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Welcome back to Where All Things Are Possible. I am here with Dr. Lucette, and we are talking about how to live an extraordinary life. And it's so interesting because it really only takes 3 things to make massive change in your life. And when we break it down to something this very simple, it really shows you that anyone can do this, that anyone can make a change from where you are to living an extraordinary life. It takes changing your thoughts, it takes changing the pictures that you put in your mind, and it takes changing your behavior or your actions. And it truly is that simple. And Dr. Lucette has just given us examples in her own life of how she did those 3 things and shifted from being in debt to building $1 million business, to helping out a family member when, seemingly everyone around her thought it was a terrible idea, but did this and ended up providing an extraordinary opportunity for both you and your brother, which is something you'll be able to cherish forever for the rest of your life, which is such an amazing thing and shows the character of who you are. But if someone out there, Dr. Lucette, is saying, okay, those are the 3 things, so I have to change my thoughts, I have to change the words that I put in my mind, which you've given us so many beautiful examples of. I have to change the pictures that I put in my mind, which we've also been talking about. And then I have to change my behavior. And that sounds good, but on a daily basis, I still struggle with how to do those 3 things. Like, it sounds simple, but in everyday life, I still struggle with kind of where do I find the tools for that? Or what words do I put in? Or, how do I change the picture? So this is why you've created this subscription program, right? So tell me a little bit more about how do I use this? How is this the easy button for me if I'm looking to create this extraordinary life?
Well, one of the things that I've discovered in working with my clients is when we talk about the concepts, it makes sense, but putting it into play is harder, right? And so a lot of times creating more information around it. So things that they can listen to on a walk or driving in their car. So that really explain it in a way with stories that, oh, I get it. Because that's what works for me. Like when you put that together. And then sometimes, a lot of times, we don't know when we're giving our point of power away. We have no idea. We don't understand that. If we don't understand that, we can't take it back.
Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me a little bit more about not understanding when we give it away.
So, for instance, how many of us as parents, maybe more as moms, but I can only speak from a mom side, right? But we give our power away in some ways to our children because we think that we have to make them happy for us to be successful. And a lot of times we judge whether we're successful as a parent in how our kids are doing, whether they're young or older, and they're their own being. They have their own path, their own light, and we can love them, right? But the more we stay in our own power, the greater gift we actually can give them.
Great example.
But we cannot make our happiness or our success be based on whether they think so or not.
That's right.
Or whether they're doing a certain thing. Because now we're giving our power away to them, but not only that,
I understand.
we're taking away their power for their own power for themselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So 2 things there that we're actually doing that end up creating a negative impact on our life and we have no idea.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and so when I'm using this subscription program, this is the easy button if I'm not sure that this stuff is even happening to me, is what you say. Like sometimes this could be happening and we don't even know it, right?
Right.
Okay, so back to the subscription program of using, how is it utilized? How is this how easy is it for me to get involved with it? And then how easy is it for me to use on a daily basis?
So it's super easy because there's audios, there's little short audios. So if you're having, this voice in your head is just telling you this thing and you just need to flip it. And you're having trouble finding a way to flip that script.
Yes.
When you're telling yourself those negative things, you don't feel good, you can't do the next thing at work. If you're mad because you had a really bad experience with a customer, you're not functioning well.
Yes.
You want to get yourself back in that feel-good space.
Yes.
But there's longer ones so that you're not sure, well, I'm having a difficult relationship with my child at whatever age. There's a video that can help me with that, which is an audio. You can listen to it when you're walking, when you're driving, all different labeled. And there's at least 12 new things coming into the subscription every month that's being created. So there's always new material.
Wow. So whether I want to listen to it, right? Whether I'm on the go or just it can be on my computer, it can be on my phone, it can be in any which way. Sounds like you've thought of everything. And what I love about this is that, I'm always like, okay, I'm going to pull from here. I'm going to go to this spot. Where did I save that meditation? Right? Like, where am I going for that visualization? I follow this person for this or this person for that or whatever it may be. But what you're saying is that this is all in one spot, everyone. It is all in one spot. And for me, that's the easy button. I just hit it, right? It's all in one spot. So I really, really love what you created. So you have a book here that's sitting in front of you, and this is not the first time that you are an author.
No, not the last either.
Not the last either. That was perfect. Absolutely. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your story and Believe Beyond, and why you think it's important to, really share these stories to inspire your audience.
So my story in Believe Beyond is really about stepping out to help my brother. And it's honoring, who I get to be, because I was willing to step up when nobody else was.
That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I lost him recently in October.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, two things. Number one, how would I feel now if I hadn't stepped up? How would I feel if he had lived in a state mental hospital for 10 years? Who would I be? I wouldn't get to be who I am because I was willing to believe beyond and step up when I couldn't see how it was going to happen, but just trusting that there was a way, and then learning how to create that way. And then out of that, having the gift to give others. So the biggest thing about Extraordinary Life is you're not dreaming big enough if you don't step out when you don't see the whole staircase. When that gut feeling that you're supposed to do something or that this is yours to claim comes, if you can see the whole staircase, it's not big enough. You're not trusting enough. And who I get to be because of my relationship with him and my gift to have him as my brother, right? And then being able to step up for him is so much more. And I had to believe beyond to do it. But then the gift I get back, and I know he's with me. And he's made it so very clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even to me.
Yes.
He comes into our calls on Zoom. We're like, there he is. Yeah. And so what I want to point out, because this is extremely profound. This is extremely profound what you are talking about. And I just thank you for this gift for all of us who are receiving this, which is, if we could all just take a moment and really consider this, when something is put in front of us, a consideration, a decision, if you will, where will I be in 10 years from now if I do not go for it? And that is the gift of what you teach people, Dr. Lucette. Tell us a little bit about your coaching.
Well, and the other thing is that it's living from the outside in. If I listen to all those people telling me not to and I don't follow my gut, and then how you feel when you don't follow that connection, that won't go away.
Beautiful.
Right? And so, so the one-on-one coaching is just a fast track, really, right? You can learn so much faster. The subscription program is so everyone has those tools. Everyone gets that opportunity. And within the subscription program, you can pick one coaching session if you just have this one spot that you need. But in the one-on-one coaching, it's very individual. So when I work with someone, the first thing we do is figure out where they are. Where do they want to be? Now, how can we get from there? What are the things that are holding them back? The individual things that they're living from the outside in, that they can learn to live from the inside out. And you'd be surprised. It's actually easier to strategize that. But, you know, it's easier for someone from the outside to help you see that, right?
Absolutely.
And then give you some things, and then you start going, oh my gosh, okay. And then it starts to get easier for you because someone who's already been there, which is the whole point. I mean, how many years did I live before I got this? You know, and you are worthy of an extraordinary life, and you can start it at any age. Everyone is born worthy. There's not one person, there's nothing that anybody could have ever done that changes that. Nothing. It's just a matter of being able to let it in. Allow yourself to be worthy of it. That love is there. It's just you learning how to open that door and let it in.
Wow. You know, it's the old analogy of the pill bottle, right? Like when you're inside the bottle, you can't read the label.
I like that
right?
analogy. Yes.
And so, but you know, and we've talked already about the importance of creating a vision, creating a clear vision, creating an opportunity to see where you are beyond your current circumstances. And you are a veterinarian, but you have now also had this calling, this pull, right, to also open up your gift for other people to work with you and to access this so that they can also do some of the things that you've done, right? Like overcome cancer as a single mom and still run and operate your business at full speed. You were able to sustain this company and employ, I don't know, but I'm going to guess hundreds of people during COVID, right? Like you have been able to build successfully $1 million business and sell that, by the way, and go ahead and have the freedom to create in a business based on your passion, based on, you know, God's gift that has been given to you that you now feel that it is your purpose to then share with others, right? So we've already talked about the importance of doing that, but you are just such a beautiful example of having done that, but not done yet, which is what I love about you. Continuing to say, hey, I'm here, right? And I am going to continue to grow, continue to expand, and continue to show up in all of my gifts and all of my purpose every single day. And what a gift that you help other people do the same. Dr. Lucette, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.
Such a gift. And as Dr. Lucette is with us, you know you can reach her on her website, drlucette.net. And she is on all the socials as Dr. Lucette. Great follow, by the way, incredible content, but also different opportunities to get into her world and really move that needle forward in your own life, which I highly, highly recommend and suggest. So thank you all of us so much for joining this high energy, high vibration, incredible episode of Where All Things Are Possible. I really appreciate you being here, and we will see you next time.